Alright, what's up YouTube? I'm just recording this quick intro because I just recorded the build guide and it's a little bit longer than I anticipated, and I talked about starter items for a little bit longer than I like. So I just want to let you guys know that there will be links, or not links, but timestamps in the description for when I talk about certain builds and when I talk about the starter items. So feel free to skip to wherever you want, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Okay, what's up YouTube? I am going to try to give you guys a build guide because everyone's requesting it, and I know it's pretty hard to build ADCs right now, so I'm going to give you guys what I know about building ADC right now. So let's get into it. So when I load up, first thing I think about is what starter item am I getting, and there's actually a lot of viable ones right now for hunters. The two main ones are Gilded and Cow, as you guys probably know. I'm gonna talk about all of them, so let's just get them all out here. Eye of the Jungle is viable for sure, gives attack speed. Death Toll, you can throw up here. Let's go Death Toll, let's go, we can talk about Mannequin too. And we can talk about, Bluestone, sure. Okay, let's start with the bad ones, how about that? Which I would say Bluestone, it's not bad, but it's for ability hunters, and ability hunters aren't really meta right now. But if you're playing like Neith, Chiron, not sure who else, Neith, Chiron, Medusa maybe? Maybe you can try this out. I wouldn't really recommend Transcendence Gods or Bluestone because I think the other starters are way better. It really doesn't give you that much if you look at it. Just 10 power. 20 HP 5 is interesting. This gives 15 HP 5. The HP 5 is actually interesting. But MP 5 a little bit. And then 25 extra damage on abilities, which doesn't feel that much in game. I've played against Bluestone and it doesn't really feel like it hurts you that much, if that makes sense. So I would rank that pretty low on the list. Next I would probably go Death Toll because I know people are probably going to be like, why? Because it gives infinite sustain. You never die in lane. And okay, but you got to think about the pros and cons, right? So you got to think about 10 power. That's really not that much. Magic power, hunters don't care about. 75 health. Just a little bit of health. You don't really feel it, I would say. And then its main purpose is infinite sustain. So you can stay in lane pretty much forever. You get, what is it? Restores 2 health and 1 mana. Or it's 2 health plus 0.75 of your max health and 1 mana plus 1.5. So you have infinite sustain, technically. Like, it's the best sustain option, but I can show you guys a build that has just as much sustain and it's way better. That's why I pretty much never buy Death Toll, I would say, literally. I tried on X-Bell once, but there's one thing that this item's missing, right? It's attack speed. You really want attack speed. So I would say these two pretty much stay away from right now. They're not really that crazy, or like, they might feel okay, but trust me, they're not gonna give you an advantage. Next thing I want to talk about is Mannequin, which actually got nerfed today. And it got nerfed from the extra damage, so it was 16 over 2 seconds, and then stacking 4 times, but now it's 12 stacking 4 times. I actually haven't tried it, but the only god I was ever building it on was Heim, and that's because he has the AoE autos that, you know, like, you can pretty much never have to use an ability on the wave and clear the wave. So you just auto stuff, get the AoE proc, and you're chilling. But on other gods, I mean, I played it on Apollo, but honestly you can build anything on Apollo. And I just don't think it gives you as much as the top two do, to be honest. And next I want to talk about Eye of the Jungle, because I tried this all day today. Literally 90% of the games I played today, I tried this. And it's interesting, you know? It gives 15 flat attack speed all the time, which obviously hunters love. The HP 5 is interesting too, because it feels like you don't need really a health pot or anything. It feels like you're just kind of regenerating health really fast. The extra damage against jungle monster passive is interesting too, because it feels like you clear buffs faster, which is really efficient when you're trying to like min-max farm when you're like going wave buff, wave buff, wave buff. It's really good. Also good against like soloing Scorpion. I did a lot with Eye of the Jungle. It feels pretty good. And yeah, I mean the only thing that this item's really missing is Mana Sustain, which Leather Cow's missing as well. But I think Leather Cow might still be more attractive than this for a few reasons I'll talk about in a second. And also we can talk about, I'm not really going to talk about all the upgrades right now, but just know starting this, it's good, it's solid. You have to get mana pots, but it's cheap so you can afford them. And just know that like you're not really going to be winning that many trades. You're pretty much trying to farm, which is kind of counterintuitive because it has a lot of attack speed, but doesn't have that much power. It has the same power as Death's Toll, which is actually not that much. 10 power, not that much. It's kind of just for like, when I was using it, I was just trying to like hyper farm, and it's still pretty good for, it's good for like 2v2 fighting because you have a lot of attack speed, but it's not really good for trading, if that makes sense. It's, I mean, honestly, it's okay for trading, but I can't really figure out when to build this over these two, because I'll explain why right now already. So, Leather Cow, I think this is top tier for sure. 15 power, most power out of any one, right? Just straight up. It's hard to calculate the, I don't know why Gilded isn't showing. Let me see something. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to calculate the basic attack damage on Gilded, but it's weird. It's not exactly 15 damage, but it's 15 basic attack damage, which hunters love. But it's the most straight up power. It's the most straight up power, right? So your abilities will be hitting harder and your autos. 10% physical lifesteal off rip. That is very valuable too, as you could imagine for ADCs. We love lifesteal, you know. Lifesteal off camp, lifesteal off wave, you're chilling. And then 5 base attack speed, which we love. If an ally is near you, you get 10% more attack speed, so that stacks, so it's 15 attack speed if someone's near you. Compare that with Eye of the Jungle. So like if you think about it, say you're in lane, right? And you're 2v2ing with your support. And just compare these from that situation, right? So 10 power, 15 power, same attack speed, right? Lifesteal, this has HP 5, right? So I would still prefer Leather Cow in the 2v2 for sure. 2v2 laning phase, 2v2 fight. Supports are staying kind of long now, so So just 2v2, Leather Cow is the best, without a doubt in my mind. But then, here's where Gilded comes in, right? Because I think this is actually, like, even if, let's talk about the movement speed for a second. In the 1v1, 5% movement speed is so valuable. You can control the fight with like running away or backing up or getting away when you're getting ganked. There's so much. Movement speed is the best stat in Smite, and this cannot be overlooked, the 5%. Also, I'll talk about the upgrades with these guys because I think Hunter's Cow is the best upgrade you can ever get on a Hunter. 60 power, so the power of most high power items like Devos. 15 Fizz lifesteal, insane. 20 attack speed, and then the passive is just insane, man. 25% attack speed aura. And when you're alone, you gain 10% movement speed. So this is the best starter upgrade, I would say, almost every time. Which is why, like, Leather Cow is really freaking good. I don't want to spend too much time on these starter items. I guess 10 minutes is good. But let's go Gilded now. Gilded, Gilded, Gilded. So why is Gilded so good? It's simply just because every 10 seconds you get a chance to gain 10 gold and 20% attack speed and restore mana. And so remember when I was talking about Death's Toll with like the like infinite sustain? When I go Gilded into Devos, I feel like I have infinite sustain because this sustains my mana. This gives MP5 and it restores mana rates. You never run out of mana. And then Devos keeps me life stealed up, so that's why I say never build Death's Toll. Because if you go Gilded Devos, your sustain's amazing in both departments, health and mana, right? Just wanted to get that out there. And I've actually been really liking Gilded for crit builds because of Gilded's upgrade, which is Ornate Bow. I actually really like this item now. I didn't like it at first, but I actually really like it now. it just gives you that extra oomph when you're critting. Like, it gives you basic attack damage, it gives you physical crit, it gives you attack speed. So like, it's pretty cool, man. I just think this item feels really good. When you got it, it's like even when you're out of base, you're still scaling up, which is a weird thing to feel. But it just feels really good, especially when I go into the crit build. I'll talk about it more. But yeah, those are starter items. I would say if you just want a solid starter item, Gilded. If you want a extra fight in the 2v2. Also, Leather Cow gives more options to build because it gives lifesteal. I'll talk about that in a sec. And then Eye of the Jungle, I would say mess with it, see if you like it. It's pretty good. It lets you do some cool stuff with soloing scorpions and stuff, but yeah, okay, let's actually get into the builds now. So I'll buy a starter item, right? One of these three, usually 1, 2, 3. Mostly 1, 2 to be honest, but yeah, 1, 2, 3. Then let's just say, obviously the bread and butter ADC build, Devos, right? So now we have Devos, we have boots, right? This is 90% of my builds. Starter item, Devos, boots. That's what I'm going, right? And then, I'll put a timestamp to skip to like the main builds because I was just talking about starter items. So yeah, we go this, and then I'm just going to start with the crit build because it seems the most solid and the most like consistent right now. So that would be Fail Not into Exy into Wind Demon, and then into Ornate Bow if I had Gilded. Here's the thing, right? So if you don't have Gilded and you just have what's it called? If you don't have Gilded, you're gonna have Leather Cow, right? And then you have to kind of make the choice between selling Cow or getting Hunter's Cow. And if you just build this, you're only going to have 40% crit, 55 with Fail Not proc, right? Yeah, 55 with Fail Not proc, which is a little low for my liking, to be honest. I don't like having crit builds below 50%. It just doesn't feel that good to me. Which is why, if I'm going crit, I like Gilded, because also this build's kind of expensive with the Fail Not being 28 and the Wind Demon being 25. It's a little expensive. I like to match Gilded with crit. It just feels really nice to me, and then I can slam Ornate Bow either before or after I finish Wind Demon usually. Also, don't be afraid to go Exy and Fail Not, switch these orders, you know, because like sometimes you back with 2200, I'll just slam an Exy. I'll back with 1600, I'll get a Fail Not too. Like, it doesn't matter the order that much. If they're really tanky and you need Protection Shred, get that, but if you're Apollo and you really want Fail Not procs, get this. And yeah, so this is my like standard crit build, right? Gilded, Devos, boots, Fail Not, Exy, Wind Demon, Ornate. It feels pretty solid. I'll talk about another crit build that I've kind of go sometimes. It's a little bit different. It's this. It's when I can't use Fail Not proc really efficiently, I'll go Rage into Wind Demon. And this I actually really like on Rama and Jingwei, I would say. Two gods that don't really utilize Fail Not proc that well. So you go this, then Ornate Bow if you want. Well, if you have Gilded. And Rage, Wind Demon combo together is 55, I'm pretty sure. Because this goes up to, what is it, 45, and this is 20. So it's 65, actually, 65, yeah. It's 65. You're losing 10% pen, but you're critting more, and also you're getting your build online more because this is cheaper. So I do that sometimes. And I'm not even going to talk about selling boots because literally less than 5% of my games have gone that far. Most games end when you're 4 items and upgraded, or like 5 items upgraded, somewhere around there. But yeah, I'm going to stop here for a sec. I'm going to record myself talking about pen builds in a sec. So I'll cut that in and be right back. Alrighty guys, I'm back to talk about pen builds, but before I do the pen builds, I'm gonna go over one more crit build that I discovered yesterday on stream. I actually got it from Zap watching him, but it's really nice. So here's one more crit build to test. It's actually a trans crit build. You start Cow, you start T1 Hydras, or T1 Morningstar. I really like that start, by the way. Gives you pretty much everything you want. HP, MP5, gives you healing, attack speed, lifesteal, power. It's a really solid start, this combo. You can go You go 2 health, 2 multi. I mean 2 health, 2 mana. 2 health, 2 mana. And then you bag for boots. You only have to farm 1550. You finish trans. And then you go fail not. It might seem like a weird build, but give it a shot. It feels really nice. Fail not, Wind Demon, Dom. Or you normally go Fail not, Wind Demon, and then Hunter's Cow, and then Dom. I just wanted to throw this build in at the end. You guys gotta test it out. It's really solid. I did it on Artemis, I did it on AMC, I did it on Heim, and I did it on Rama. And all the games have felt pretty strong. You lack a little bit of lifesteal, obviously. I mean, 15% lifesteal. It just reminds me of the old Bloodforge crit build. Because you have a lot of power, but you don't have that much lifesteal, but it kind of balances out. It's also really expensive, but it's just one more crit build to test, alright? So just try that. And I'll start talking about pen builds now. So, pen builds this season feel really weird to me. And pen builds aren't going to differ from crit builds for the first 3 items, right? Like, starter item, boots, power item, either trans or devos, right? So I'm just going to talk about the 3 items that kind of work really well with pen builds from what I've seen. And that's, let's just say you go any starter, right? Any starter, top 2. So you go starter, you go boots, you go devs, or trans, whatever. Mostly devs, but I'll just throw trans in here for that, because you can go pen with the build I just showed you, right? So you go starter, right? Just say leather. Let's just say back for devs, then you get boots, right? Okay, so now the 3 items that I would say try out in pen builds is Xe, Kins, and Berserkers. And Dom. I'll throw Dom in here too. These are like the go-to pen items, right? For pen builds. The order, it kind of differs. Like, Berserkers is really good 3rd, and Xe is really good 3rd. Decide which one, it's kind of hard. Xe's more pen, but Berserkers gives you a lot of power, attack speed, pen, really good passive. So you can either go, I would say, if you're like just trying to copy a build, you can probably go Xe Kins Berserkers, and then sell boots for Dom. Or you can go Xe Boots Dom, Xe Kins Dom. Or you can go Berserkers Xe Kins. I saw Cyclone do this. These are just the pretty much 4 go-to items for pen builds. The order is kind of up to you. If you just want a cookie cutter one, either Xe Kins Berserkers or Berserkers Xe Kins. And obviously upgrade your starter if you want. This build is how much attack speed? I'm at 2.15 here, full build. With Hunter's Cow, it's probably, I don't know if it's gonna count the passive, but with Hunter's Cow, you're probably capped. But pen builds are feeling a little worse than crit builds right now. That's why I would just recommend trying crit. But if you really like pen builds, try just something like this: Berserker Xe Kins, Xe Berserker Kins. You don't want Kins here. Kins isn't that valuable this season. I would just go one of these 2 items, 3rd and 4th. Switch that up. And starter item, you can go Hunter's Cow with this. You can go Gilded Arrow with this. You can go Protector of the Jungle with this. It's a pretty just standard flexible build. So yeah, that's the pen build. And I think that might be it. So far. I'll talk about some niche items real quick. And so like Oboe, it's really hard to fit in builds now. You don't just get a lot of percent pen. Atlantis Bow nerfed to the ground. Silver Branch is actually better statted than Atlantis Bow now, but still, I've tried it. They're not very good. Aussie, I wouldn't recommend Aussie because you need better items, man. You need Xe Kins Berserkers. And Iqval, you can go Iqval sometimes if you're against heavy auto attacks, but Iqval, Toxic are like really niche items that you only get against certain comps. Obviously, Iqval against attack speed, Toxic against healing. What else? Shadow Steel in the crit builds. It's actually not bad. Test Shadow Steel in crit builds if you want. But I don't want this video being too long, guys. I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to sub if you want to support me. I appreciate it, guys. Later. Goodbye, YouTube.